We'd like to welcome you to the session on global solidarity amongst trans women. So, when we started having a conversation about this conference, Cecilia and I thought about the idea of starting a conversation of what global solidarity would look like amongst trans women. I think there's been more movement and more traction towards putting a focus on issues affecting trans women in all their diversity. And so we wanted really to create a space where we can talk about these issues.
When we talk about solidarity, there's a reason we feel that there is the need and an urgency for it. Because transgender people make up 1 to 1.5% of the general population around the globe. Yet we are 400 times more likely to be assaulted or murdered compared to the general populations. That's unusually high numbers. And it could be even higher if we actually have the proper mechanism to track these violence and murders. There is a need for us to support one another, to celebrate our resilience, and to remind ourselves and everyone in the community that our lives matter. Of course, when we talk about all these, we also have to look at other violence that transgender people, especially transgender women, experience.
Sexual violence and rape are key issues facing trans women. Trans women are likely to become criminally involved and are among those made vulnerable to sexual abuse behind bars. While detained trans women are housed with other inmates of the same birth gender, which place them at risk of sexual assault by male inmates. Not enough South African specialist centers provide gender reassignment surgery. Health needs for trans women are unique and rarely addressed. In addition to physical, mental, and sexual health services, many trans women require specialized services, including hormone replacement therapy and gender reassignment surgery. Trans women have been excluded from research because of pervasive stigmatization, denial, and hidden nature of trans women.
People around the world don't recognize that trans women are the women who face the gender-based violence, and when they're talking about the women's issues, they leave out trans women. So, and we also say that in the African continent, the trans men are the ones who are recognized as activists. So we said we have now, this is the time that we've met. Let's stand up and begin changing the world ourselves. Because if we don't change, no one will change for us the world.
Violence exists in many forms. Now, I've just shared one aspect of violence which I underwent, which was institutional violence. But I was also brutally raped in 2011 by somebody who I thought was a friend, somebody who I knew. And the fact that this person, I was friends with this person, and the fact that this person knew that in this situation that I was in our country, there was no way I could really report to the police the situation, because it would lead to more questions as to, sodomy is outlawed in Zimbabwe, as everybody knows, and I couldn't exactly go to the doctors to report. I couldn't go to the clinics. Trans women is important in that we live in a very patriarchal society, and you'll find that women, feminists themselves, face a lot of discrimination. But being transgender woman, it's a double impact, because first it's the discrimination that you are not really born a natural woman, be you transsexual or transgender or sort of like but in the process. So it's important in the fact that we need to establish how that we as a group of individuals, as a group of people, have just about as much to contribute to society, and we have got as much right to live and to exist without discrimination, and without prejudice in the broader society. Which is why it's very important for us to establish ourselves and to move forward as a unit, as a unified force.